ahead and review real quick so that way you guys can remember everything that we did before the break. So our EQ on the board is, what is the formation process for igneous, sedimentary, and metamorphic rock? So, what is the formation process of an igneous rock? Hands. Yes.
Magma or lava being cooled and hardened.
Perfect. Magma or lava cooling and hardening. There are how many types of igneous rocks? Yes.
There's two.
What are they?
Intrusive and extrusive.
Intrusive and extrusive igneous rock. So now, we have two igneous rocks. What is the difference between those igneous rocks? Yes.
Intrusive is formed by magma and extrusive is formed by lava.
Very good. So intrusive igneous rock is formed from the cooling and hardening of magma deep within the earth. And then you have an extrusive igneous rock, which is formed from lava cooling and hardening above the earth's surface. They're always found near volcanoes. Okay, so what's the difference between an intrusive and extrusive igneous rock? Yes.
An intrusive igneous rock is coarse grained,
Mhm.
and an extrusive igneous rock is fine grained.
Very good. So intrusive igneous rock is coarse grained. They have larger crystals. Why do they have larger crystals? Yes, Faith.
Because they cool slower.
Very good. The deeper you go in the earth, the hotter it gets and the more pressure it is. So because it's hot inside the earth, igneous rocks cool slower than they would above ground. So that gives it time for the crystals to actually form. Okay? So then the next rock is sedimentary rock. How is a sedimentary rock formed? Yes, sir.
Sedimentary rock is formed from the compact. Is you want to see the whole process?
Mm-hmm.
Is when it's weathered and broken down, and then it is deposited. No,
Weather-
it's
Weathering.
and then it's deposited, then it's compaction, cementation.
Very good. So weathering, erosion, deposition, compaction, cementation. What does weathering mean? What does weathering mean? Yes.
The breaking of large rocks.
Breaking down of rocks into smaller pieces. Okay? Breaking down of rocks physically into smaller pieces. And what are those pieces called? Yes. Sediment. So rocks are broken down into smaller pieces called sediments. Okay? And it's sand, clay, broken tiny pieces of rock. What about erosion? What is erosion?
Sediments carried from one place to another.
Perfect. So it's when you have sediments that are being carried from one place to another. They're being moved or transported. So what about deposition? Deposition, yes, sir.
Then sediments are layered or on top of each other.
Okay, so deposition is when they're starting to collect, when they're piling up in one area, they're dropping down into one area. So the next step is compaction. What's compaction? Yes, sir.
When the sediments are being squeezed.
So you have all of these sediments piling up on top of each other, becoming layers, and they're being pushed down, they're being squeezed together, okay? And the last step, cementation. Yes, sir.
When sediments squish together and stay,
How do they stay?
they glue together.
All right, so you have these minerals that are starting to crystallize that basically acts as a glue, a bonding agent, which forms the rock, okay? So there are three types of sedimentary rocks. What are those types of sedimentary rocks? Ronnie, give me one.
Plastic,
Plastic, very good. Go ahead and give me another one.
organic,
Organic, and give me that last one, Samaj.
chemical.
Chemical, so who can tell me the difference? Yes.
Plastic is when pieces of other rocks or minerals are coming together.
Very good. So you have pieces of other rocks that come together to form another rock. Give me one.
Organic is when rocks are formed like dead.
Okay. Perfect. So organic is when you have these dead plants and animals that are intertwined with the pieces of sediment. And the last one, chemical.
Is when dissolved water
Dissolved minerals.
of minerals are being weathered, eroded in the process.
Okay. So with chemical, you want to the chemical is when you have these minerals that are not evaporating. What evaporates is water, okay, or liquids. Liquids evaporate, but these minerals are starting to dissolve and crystallize, and they turn into this agent that kind of glues everything together, but it's changing the rock, okay? So they're crystallizing. Now, the next part is metamorphic. What about a metamorphic rock? How is that one formed? Yes, sir. Perfect. So a metamorphic rock is formed from heat and pressure deep within the earth. There are two types of metamorphic rocks. What are they? Yes, sir. Foliated and non-foliated. So what's the difference between foliated and non-foliated? Foliated and non-foliated.
Foliated rocks, they're like the lines are not so straight.
Okay, so those lines, we call them bands, okay? So that's when you have these wavy bands, and they kind of look like it's been squished, because remember, it's a lot of heat and a lot of pressure. So the lines are never going to be straight. They're always wavy. So these bands are foliated rocks, and non-foliated rocks don't have the bands. They're more fine-grained, okay? Any questions or misconceptions or anything that we need to clear up with how each of these rocks form? Okay? Now, the other part is that any rock can turn into any rock. Any rock can turn into any rock. A sedimentary rock can turn into a metamorphic rock or an igneous rock. A metamorphic rock can turn into an igneous rock. One thing I want you to remember, whether it's sedimentary, igneous, or metamorphic, in order for any of those rocks to turn into an igneous rock, it has to melt first. Why? Because igneous rocks are formed from cooling and hardening of magma or lava. So if you want a rock to turn into an igneous rock, it has to melt, because it only comes from the cooling and hardening of magma or lava. So let's say I have a metamorphic rock here, and I want to change it to a sedimentary rock. What's the process of formation that changes it to a sedimentary rock?
Weathering, erosion, deposition, compaction, and cementation.
Very good. So the metamorphic rock has to go through weathering, erosion, deposition, compaction, cementation. But what if I want that metamorphic rock to turn into an igneous rock? What if I want it to turn into an igneous rock? Yes. Okay, well, how do I get this magma and lava? Pedro.
Deep under the earth.
Yeah, magma is deep within the earth, but remember, I told you something has to happen for magma and lava to be made. Yes. It has to melt. In order for the rock to become an igneous rock, it has to melt. Melting rock, molten rock, magma or lava. Molten rock is magma or lava, liquid rock. It has to melt, and then it cools and hardens. Any questions? Very good.